I never expected helping a work friend would turn into this, so for context, I'm a 43-year-old guy. I've never been married, although I came close twice after getting engaged, but life had other plans. I don't have any kids either. Over the years, I've mostly focused on building a career I enjoy, staying in shape, and keeping my life relatively simple. I'm 5'10", around 200 pounds. Work out 4 to 5 days a week, have long hair, and I'm fortunate enough to make a good living as a mechanical engineer. A couple of months ago, a woman I've known for years started venting to me about something that honestly sounded like a nightmare. She's 28, works as a secretary, dresses very modestly, and is one of those incredibly shy people that most coworkers assume doesn't have much to say. They're all wrong. Once she gets comfortable around someone, she has an amazing personality, a great sense of humor, and can spend hours talking about books she's read. She's the definition of a quiet bookworm. Unfortunately, she'd recently caught her boyfriend cheating on her, and not just with anyone. Less than a month after their relationship ended, she found out she'd have to attend a mutual friend's wedding where her ex would not only be present, but would also be bringing the very woman he'd cheated on her with. As the wedding got closer, she started venting more often during lunch breaks or after work. At first, it was just frustration. She'd tell me she wished she could skip the wedding altogether or disappear for the day, so she wouldn't have to see everyone pretending nothing had happened. Then the conversation slowly changed. She started saying things like she hated the thought of walking in by herself because everyone would pity her. A few days later, she laughed and said it would be even better if she showed up with the kind of man nobody would ever expect to see her with. I remember smiling because I could see exactly where the conversation was headed, or at least I thought I could. About a week before the wedding, she finally gathered enough courage to ask me directly. She hesitated for several seconds before quietly saying, "Would you be willing to come with me, just so it looks like we're seeing each other?" I didn't answer right away. Eventually, I smiled apologetically and told her I thought it would probably be better if she found someone else. The change in her expression happened instantly. She tried to smile, looked down at the ground, and quietly said, "I understand. I didn't really think a guy like you would agree to do something like this for me anyway." Those 6 words, "a guy like you," stayed with me for the rest of the day. What was that supposed to mean? I wasn't anything extraordinary. Sure, I stayed in shape and had a decent career, but I'd never once considered myself someone a woman like her would think was out of her league. More than anything, though, it was the sadness in her eyes that I couldn't shake. She'd already been betrayed by someone she loved, and now she'd worked up the courage to ask me for one small favor only to be turned down. By the time work ended, I knew I'd made the wrong decision. As we walked toward the parking lot, I caught up to her and told her I wanted to talk about what had happened earlier. Before I could finish, she immediately looked down again and said, "It's okay, really, I completely understand." I interrupted her with a smile and said, "Actually, I changed my mind. I'd be happy to go with you." She froze for a second before slowly looking back up. Her eyes lit up in a way I'd never seen before. A huge smile spread across her face, and she actually let out the cutest little squeal as she asked, "Wait, are you serious?" I laughed and told her I was, and seeing that genuine excitement made me realize agreeing to go had already been worth it. The following day, we worked out all the details, including the venue, what time I'd pick her up, and where she lived. Before we finished talking, I made one thing perfectly clear. I reminded her that she'd said she wanted people to think we were together, and I told her I had absolutely no problem with people making that assumption, but I wasn't going to put on some over-the-top performance. No fake romance, no pretending to be madly in love. We'd simply arrive together, enjoy the evening, and let everyone believe whatever they wanted. She smiled, nodded, and said that was exactly what she wanted, which honestly made me feel a lot better about the whole thing. At the time, I thought I was simply doing a friend a favor. I had absolutely no idea that agreeing to one fake date was about to turn into a night neither of us would ever forget.